Today, Ken is going to show us how to upcycle them with a very cool and clever way to transform them into candle holders.
Why recycle when you can
I love
upcycle?
it.
Right, this is great for wine bottles, olive oil bottles, any kind of old bottles you have, as long as they're round.
Okay.
You can cut them and make them these wonderful candle holders. I love it because the whole, like, I think a bottle, there's all this romance. I was inspired this Saturday's movie, Bottle with Love,
right.
with Bethany Joy Lenz and Andrew Walker. It sort of got all my creative juices flowing. So it's Abby that's Bethany's character. She works in Boston, yearning for love.
Okay.
Her aunt convinces her to write it down, pour out her heart in a piece of paper, put it in a bottle, toss it into the
I
Boston
love it. It's so
Harbor.
romantic.
It gets found in Maine by Andrew's character. Yes, Nick. He lives in Maine, he's fine, but his father owns a big corporation down in Boston. He's called to his father's job for work. Meanwhile, he finds the bottle. They start communicating. They have an online romantic relationship. Meanwhile,
doing to me?
She works for the company. She meets this jerk. They fight at work, go home and talk about it online. It's the same person!
I love it. Just so you know,
Love it.
we are so
Love
invested in
it.
this movie. So Bethany Joy Lenz and Andrew Walker are both going to be here tomorrow to tell
And I
us
love
about
them
the movie.
both. And Andrew
I
Walker's
know.
like a
what
real
a
sweetheart.
sweetie.
Yeah.
He's been in like 7,000 Hallmark
7,000.
movies. We love him so much. So until they get here,
Yep.
we'll just show everybody.
We'll show some bottles. We'll keep ourselves busy with bottles.
I have the depth to walk through real life struggle and come out the other side. And I'm looking for someone like that too. Flawed but open. Impossible to label and file away. I think we all deserve that, don't we? I'm willing to take the risk. Come find me.
This is ridiculous. Technically, I'm about to pollute.
Flash! Love will be on its way.
I love it. I'm such a sucker for romance.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
Love
she
it.
threw her bottle into the Boston Harbor. We are not going to do that.
We are not.
We're actually going to make candles out of all of it.
Exactly, exactly. So what I've got here, the key here, you've got your round bottle. It has to be round. You can't do this with square. And what you're going to need is this. This has been around since the 70s. I used one of these as a young man as well. It is a glass cutter. It'll cost you about, I don't know, 10, 12 bucks from the craft store. What it's got is a place here that you put in your bottle, and then it has a tiny little blade that's going to not cut, but scratch the glass. Can you see that there?
Sure.
So all you're going to do, kind of,
right?
well, made to get an even round cut. So that's very observant. You want to get your bottle, make sure its labels off, make sure there's no residue or anything like that. Get it nice and clean, and you're going to pop it on here. Then all you're going to do is just push it ever so slightly. And
that's all it takes?
You're going to hear a little scratch and turn your bottle. So listen.
So it's just scoring it.
All it is scoring the bottle. Because, you know, when there's a sort of weakness, that is where the bottle will crack. You want to turn it as smoothly as possible until you hear your back in the same spot.
Okay,
so now I'm not sure if you can see that there. I'm going to hold that there for you. You can see that tiny little scratch. That's all it is.
Okay, so now we're going to have to break our bottle. So we scratched it enough so we can actually separate it. So how do we do that? All right, safety first.
What I have here is a pot of just boiling water. I just took it off the heat, and we have ice water here, an ice bath.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do is dip it back and forth between the two.
And what is that going to do?
What it's going to do is the hot water is going to make this expand.
Right.
And then when I take it out, leave it for about 5 seconds or so.
In each one, 5 seconds?
In each one. Then the cold water is going to make it contract. So if you ever taken anything hot right out of the dishwasher and then put cold water in and it shatters, that's exactly what we're doing. But because we've scored it, it's going to break just along that line.
And how long would this, how many times do you think we have to go back and forth before it
Usually
works?
just like a few. It sort of really varies on the quality of the glass and how your scoring was and how hot they all are.
And the way you scored it, it did not seem like you went deep at all.
And you shouldn't. You should not go deep. Exactly. You should go just lightly.
All right. Oh my
So
goodness.
you can see that crack getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
All right, can't you?
Now, do you give it any help, or it literally just separates
It'll just
on its own?
separate on its own. Watch.
This is like a really cool science project that I feel like we would have done in school. Oh! Wow!
That easy. You get that nice, beautiful cut just because you scored it. All it is that expansion and contraction.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
You can do this with wine bottles, beer bottles, olive oil bottles, all sorts of crafts.
This might be my favorite DIY we've ever done in the show.
Half art, half science, and a little bit of construction.
Oh wow, it really is. Okay, now we're gonna have to sand this down because
Right, so it's very sharp. So what you want to do is just standard.
Just that.
Yeah. Go ahead, do a little bit of that. That gets rid of the flat edge, and then do it around the edge here.
So
you can really
one
have
more
fun.
time where I can get this.
Any craft store.
Any craft store.
Glass cutter, and you can do a ton of projects. It's a really fun way to upcycle. Keep things out of our
And how much
recycle
is
bins.
this?
$10, $12. Yeah, like nothing. Nothing.
my goodness.
All you're gonna do is do that. You can also, you've got your bottom half here, which sand these.
Sure, you can make little glasses.
Little glasses.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
You'll never
Ken.
see Debbie again. All she's gonna be doing is cutting bottles and making drinkware.
I'm gonna start a business.
All I did then, a little bit of spray paint, and
Any
the
kind of
wine
spray
bottle is
paint?
perfect for any kind of spray paint will do.
Okay.
Wine bottle is perfect for the candle size.
And there you go.
Hey, voila!
And I
Set
love
of
the-
glasses.
And a set of
And a set
candle
of candle
holders.
holders.
I love the colors you've chosen. They're very Easter-esque, very springy.
That's what I do.